Next to me, I have Miranda Lambert, the one and only, who I call my little mercenary.
Would prepare Miranda Lambert for the phone call that changed everything. While the world only saw the performances, Miranda was privately watching her mother face something far more frightening than any stage. The diagnosis came without warning. What followed was 10 months that tested an entire family to their core, and the heartbreaking details Beverly Lambert eventually shared left almost no one dry-eyed. The childhood that forged a rebel. Long before she became one of country music's biggest stars, Miranda Lambert was just a small-town Texas girl, growing up in a family that knew both success and struggle. Considering her fiery personality and fearless attitude, it almost feels inevitable that she was born and raised in Texas. Miranda entered the world in Longview, Texas, where she was raised by her parents, Bev and Rick Lambert. Her childhood was anything but ordinary. Both of her parents worked as private investigators, handling major cases through their own detective agency. She also grew up alongside her younger brother, Luke, and even carried a family connection in her name, which came from her great-grandmother, Lucy Miranda. For a time, life seemed stable. Then, everything changed. During the late 1980s, the Texas oil industry took a major hit, and the economic downturn hit the Lambert family hard. Almost overnight, the comfortable life they had built began to disappear. Financial struggles piled up, and eventually the family lost nearly everything. Years later, Miranda would openly acknowledge the reality of those difficult times. During part of her childhood, her family was homeless. After losing their home, the family relocated to the small town of Lindale just before Miranda entered first grade. They arrived with very little besides a few animals, determination, and hope that better days were ahead. As difficult as those years were, they also marked the beginning of a surprising turnaround. Rick and Bev eventually became involved in high-profile investigative work, including matters connected to the impeachment investigation of President Bill Clinton. Their careers began gaining momentum again, and slowly, the family's situation improved. By the time Miranda reached her teenage years, she was already getting a first-hand education in detective work. In one memorable assignment, she even dressed up as a cheerleader selling candy as part of an undercover operation. It was hardly a typical teenage experience, but there was nothing typical about Miranda Lambert's upbringing. Still, even with livestock to care for and investigations happening around her, music was never far away. Country music filled the Lambert household. Her father played guitar, wrote songs, and introduced her to artists like Merle Haggard. Those influences planted a seed early. Even as a child, people around her seemed to sense where she was headed. By 6th grade, her classmates had already voted her most likely to become a country singer. One moment, in particular, left a lasting impression. When Miranda was 9 years old, her father took her to see Garth Brooks perform live. Watching thousands of fans connect with a performer on stage completely captivated her. Something clicked that night. For the first time, she could picture herself doing the same thing one day. Ironically, she wasn't in any hurry to chase that dream. Throughout her early teens, Miranda was far more interested in dancing and cheerleading. Music remained in the background until she entered a country singing competition at age 16. She didn't win, but the experience changed everything. The competition sparked something inside her. Soon afterward, she formed her own band and began performing anywhere she could. She even appeared on the same talent show circuit that had helped launch future country stars such as Lee Ann Womack and LeAnn Rimes. Throughout it all, her father remained one of her biggest supporters. Believing completely in her talent, he invested thousands of dollars to send her to Nashville to record a professional demo. The experience, however, turned into an important lesson. The producers tried to shape her into something she wasn't, pushing a sound that felt artificial and disconnected from who she was as an artist. Rather than discouraging her, the disappointment taught her something valuable. If she wanted to succeed, she needed to tell her own stories and create her own music. Back home in Texas, she asked her father to teach her guitar. Soon, she was writing songs herself. Her dedication became so intense that she graduated from high school early at 17, allowing her to focus completely on building a music career. The gamble paid off. After independently releasing music and developing a loyal fan base across Texas, Miranda landed the opportunity that would change her life in 2003 when she auditioned for the USA Network reality competition Nashville Star. For the 19-year-old singer, the experience felt overwhelming from the start. The trip to Nashville wasn't just another performance opportunity. It was her very first time flying on an airplane. Suddenly, she found herself living in a house with strangers, competing on national television and chasing a dream that suddenly felt much bigger than Texas. Despite being the youngest contestant by nearly a decade, Miranda quickly became one of the standout performers on the show. Week after week, audiences watched her confidence grow. She didn't win the competition. In fact, she finished in third place. But in many ways, that didn't matter. The exposure introduced her to millions of viewers and led directly to a recording contract with Sony Music. The door she had been trying to open for years finally swung wide open. By 2007, her second album, Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, arrived and showcased a more confident artist. Her songwriting had matured, her performances had grown stronger, and she was becoming increasingly comfortable embracing the bold personality that fans loved. Not everyone in the industry immediately understood it. Some country radio stations hesitated to fully support her music, viewing her image as too aggressive or too unconventional. Fans felt differently. The album became a massive success. Both the record and its breakout single, Gunpowder and Lead, eventually earned double platinum certification. Critics praised the project, and it earned Album of the Year honors at the Academy of Country Music Awards. As her reputation grew, so did her image as country music's resident rebel. Yet behind the tough exterior was a deeper story. The inspiration for Gunpowder and Lead wasn't simply about creating a provocative hit song. Growing up, Miranda had watched her parents open their home to women and children escaping abusive situations. Those experiences left a lasting impression on her and shaped the emotional foundation of the song. While listeners often focused on its rebellious attitude, Miranda understood the very real pain and trauma that inspired it. Beneath the fiery lyrics was a story rooted in experiences she had witnessed firsthand, one that reflected the struggles of families dealing with abuse and the strength it takes to survive it. The secrets behind their perfect image. The story of Miranda Lambert and Blake Shelton began in 2005, and from the very start, it was complicated. The two country stars first met while performing together during CMT's 100 Greatest Duets concert. There was an undeniable connection between them almost immediately, but there was one major obstacle standing in the way. Blake was still married to his first wife, Kaynette Gurn. Miranda's situation wasn't exactly simple either. At the time, she was in a serious relationship with musician Jeffrey Allen McManus, a relationship that had reportedly lasted for about 3 years. Their breakup eventually became the subject of controversy, with McManus later alleging that Miranda and Blake had become involved before either relationship had officially ended. The accusations resurfaced years later when McManus publicly criticized Blake during a social media exchange, reigniting speculation about how the relationship between Blake and Miranda first began. Whatever the circumstances, by 2006, Blake's marriage to Kynette had come to an end. The divorce was a painful chapter in his life, one he later described as one of the most difficult experiences he had ever faced. A year later, Blake and Miranda made their first major public appearance as a couple at the 2007 CMT Music Awards. But while their relationship was becoming increasingly visible, life behind the scenes wasn't always as picture-perfect as it appeared. The first year of their romance was filled with challenges, largely because they were trying to maintain a long-distance relationship while both pursuing demanding careers. They spent countless hours traveling back and forth, trying to balance love with life on the road. Eventually, Miranda left Texas and moved to Oklahoma to be closer to Blake. As their relationship grew stronger, country music fans became fascinated by the pair. They quickly developed a reputation as one of the genre's most talked-about couples. Still, their relationship was never built on quiet romance alone. Friends and fans often noticed their playful competitiveness. They teased each other constantly, challenged one another, and seemed to thrive on a relationship dynamic that was equal parts affection and friendly rivalry. By 2009, Miranda's personal life was attracting plenty of attention, but her career was about to reach an entirely new level. That year, she released Revolution, an album that would ultimately transform her from a respected country artist into a genuine superstar. The record started with moderate success. Singles like Dead Flowers and White Liar performed well and showcased the sharp songwriting and bold personality fans had come to expect from her. But it was the album's third single that changed everything. The House That Built Me was unlike anything Miranda had released before. Instead of fiery attitude and rebellion, the song offered vulnerability, nostalgia, and reflection. It told the story of someone returning to their childhood home in search of comfort and understanding. The emotional honesty struck a chord with listeners across the country. The song became Miranda's first #1 hit on the country charts and earned her a Grammy Award for Best Female Country Vocal Performance in 2010. More importantly, it revealed a different side of her artistry. For years, Miranda had been known as country music's tough, fearless outlaw. Now, audiences were seeing the depth behind that image. Even so, she had no interest in abandoning the bold personality that made her unique. Other songs on Revolution proved she was still willing to push boundaries and challenge expectations. Rather than trying to appeal to everyone, Miranda embraced being an artist people either loved or disliked. To her, standing out was always better than blending in. Fresh off the success of Revolution, Miranda decided to take an unexpected creative detour. In 2010, she teamed up with fellow singer-songwriters Ashley Monroe and Angelina Presley to form a trio called the Pistol Annies. The idea emerged after Ashley introduced Miranda to Angelina's music, sparking a creative connection that quickly evolved into something bigger. The three women adopted colorful stage nicknames and built the group around honest storytelling, traditional country sounds, and songs inspired by everyday life. Their debut album, Hell on Heels, arrived in 2011 and immediately connected with listeners. Despite receiving relatively little promotion, both the album and its title track became major successes. Critics praised the project, while fans embraced its authenticity and sharp songwriting. As Miranda's professional life continued soaring, her personal life reached a milestone as well. In May 2011, she and Blake Shelton were married in Texas during a star-studded ceremony attended by some of country music's biggest names. From the outside, they looked like country music royalty. Not long after the wedding, Miranda spoke openly about the pressure she felt to maintain a certain appearance while living life in the public eye. Through it all, Blake remained supportive, encouraging her to focus less on unrealistic standards and more on confidence and self-acceptance. Miranda worked hard to stay healthy, particularly because performing demanded tremendous energy and stamina. She maintained a regular workout routine, monitored her diet, and focused on finding balance rather than perfection. That philosophy became one of her trademarks. She never wanted to sacrifice the simple pleasures she enjoyed just to fit a particular image. For Miranda, feeling healthy mattered far more than chasing impossible beauty standards. For several years, Blake and Miranda seemed to weather constant tabloid rumors together. Whenever reports surfaced predicting trouble in their marriage, they often brushed them aside publicly. But by 2014, signs of strain were becoming harder to ignore. Rumors of infidelity surrounded both stars, while reports suggested their increasingly busy schedules were creating significant distance between them. One of the biggest factors was Blake's growing commitment to The Voice. Ironically, Blake joined the NBC competition series during the same year he married Miranda. The show quickly became a massive success and elevated his career to a whole new level. But the opportunity came with a cost. Filming required Blake to spend much of the year in Los Angeles, while the couple's home remained in Oklahoma. The arrangement forced them into another long-distance situation, something that had challenged them from the beginning of their relationship. According to reports at the time, Miranda frequently traveled to Los Angeles to visit Blake, despite not particularly enjoying city life. Blake's schedule, meanwhile, made it increasingly difficult for him to spend extended periods back home. The situation became a growing source of tension. Years earlier, Blake had openly acknowledged that work commitments sometimes interfered with quality time together. Looking back, those struggles now seemed like warning signs of deeper issues ahead. In July 2015, after 4 years of marriage, Blake Shelton and Miranda Lambert officially announced their divorce. Almost immediately, speculation exploded. Rumors circulated that Miranda had become involved with fellow country singer Chris Young, who had previously toured with her. The stories gained traction as tabloids published claims that the two appeared unusually close. Chris Young firmly denied the allegations. He publicly stated that both Blake and Miranda were friends and insisted there was no truth to the rumors. He later released a formal statement attempting to put the speculation to rest once and for all. At the same time, Blake found himself facing similar accusations. Reports emerged claiming he had been involved with another female country singer during the marriage. Eventually, attention focused on singer Katie Groves, who became caught in the middle of intense public scrutiny. The rumors had a profound impact on her life and career. Years later, family members would argue that the controversy damaged her professional opportunities and unfairly attached her name to a narrative she never asked to be part of. Blake consistently denied cheating and even considered legal action against some of the reports. As the divorce headlines continued, another unexpected story began unfolding. Around the same time Blake and Miranda were ending their marriage, Blake's fellow voice coach, Gwen Stefani, was navigating her own highly publicized divorce from Gavin Rossdale. Both artists found themselves dealing with heartbreak at exactly the same moment. What started as mutual support gradually evolved into something more. As they spent time together, they discovered shared experiences and an understanding that few others could offer. Eventually, Blake and Gwen became one of entertainment's most talked-about couples. As for Miranda, reports suggested she had already accepted that Blake was moving on. Publicly, she showed little interest in fueling drama and largely focused on her own life and career. If she had anything to say about the experience, she chose to express it through her music. In 2016, Miranda released The Weight of These Wings, her first studio album following the divorce. The project immediately became one of the most anticipated releases of her career. Split into 2 sections titled The Nerve and the Heart, the album explored vulnerability, healing, self-discovery, and resilience. While Miranda resisted labeling it a divorce album, listeners could hear the emotional honesty woven throughout songs like Vice and Tin Man. For an artist whose reputation had long been built on confidence and toughness, the album revealed another side entirely. It showed a woman willing to confront pain, uncertainty, and heartbreak in front of the entire world. Releasing such personal material wasn't easy. Miranda admitted feeling nervous about how audiences would respond. But, as a songwriter, she believed honesty was the only path forward. That decision paid off in a major way. The Weight of These Wings became both a critical and commercial success, earning double platinum status and winning Album of the Year at the 2017 Academy of Country Music Awards. More than anything, the record proved that even after one of the most difficult periods of her life, Miranda Lambert had emerged stronger than ever. How Miranda found love again. Following the end of her marriage, Miranda Lambert began dating singer-songwriter Anderson East. Their relationship lasted for roughly 2 years and appeared to be going strong. But by early 2018, things had started to unravel. Around the same time, reports began linking Miranda to Evan Felker, the lead singer of the Turnpike Troubadours. The situation quickly attracted attention because Felker was still married when the rumors surfaced. Additional reports claimed there was tension between Miranda and Felker's wife, Stacy, though Miranda denied those allegations. According to sources familiar with the situation, Felker viewed the opportunity to work alongside a major star like Miranda as a significant moment in his career. His band joined her tour in early 2018, and shortly afterward, he filed for divorce. What initially seemed like the beginning of a promising relationship didn't last long. By August of that same year, Miranda publicly described herself as happily single. Later reports suggested the relationship had ended after Felker allegedly crossed personal boundaries that were important to her, though exactly what happened was never fully explained. Like many public figures, Miranda found herself facing criticism and speculation from outsiders who felt they understood her personal life. But behind the headlines was someone still trying to navigate relationships while living under an intense spotlight. What nobody knew at the time was that her next relationship would end up changing everything. The story began in one of the most unexpected places imaginable, the set of a morning television show. In 2018, Miranda was performing with the Pistol Annies on Good Morning America. While she was preparing for the appearance, a New York City police officer named Brendan McLaughlin was working security at the event. At first, neither one made a move. Instead, the real matchmakers turned out to be Miranda's closest friends. Her fellow Pistol Annies bandmates spotted Brendan and immediately sensed an opportunity. Convinced that Miranda might be ready to meet someone new, they took matters into their own hands and invited him backstage without telling her. Adding to the conspiracy was Miranda's longtime security guard, Tom, who reportedly played a role in helping the introduction happen. What started as a simple setup quickly turned into something much bigger. The connection between Miranda and Brendan was immediate. Before long, they were spending more and more time together, building a relationship away from the public eye. Then came a surprise that caught almost everyone off guard. After a whirlwind romance lasting just a few months, the couple quietly got married in January 2019. The ceremony took place in secret, and fans didn't learn about it until Miranda revealed the news weeks later. For Miranda, the decision felt right. After years of highly publicized relationships and painful breakups, she believed she finally knew exactly what she wanted in a partner. When she found it, she wasn't interested in waiting around. The marriage marked a fresh start for both of them. Despite coming from completely different worlds, They seemed to complement each other perfectly. Miranda was a Texas farm girl who felt most comfortable, surrounded by horses, dogs, and open land. Brendan was a city guy from New York who had spent years serving as a police officer. Somehow, the contrast worked. The couple divided their time between Nashville and New York, balancing two very different lifestyles. Miranda enjoyed the slower pace of life in Tennessee, where she could spend time with her animals and escape the pressures of celebrity life. Brendan, meanwhile, embraced life on the road and frequently accompanied her during tours. As the years passed, they continued to present a united front. But like any couple, they faced challenges of their own. One of the most frightening moments came in early 2021 during a road trip through the Southeast. Miranda and Brendan had been traveling with their beloved Airstream trailer, affectionately nicknamed the Sheriff. The trip had started as a relaxing adventure, filled with sightseeing and quiet moments together. They visited the historic Biltmore Estate in North Carolina. They explored the colorful streets and charming architecture of Charleston, South Carolina. Later, they extended their stay near Georgia's Lake Oconee to enjoy a few peaceful days away from their busy schedules. Everything seemed perfect. Then, while driving through Atlanta, their trip took a terrifying turn. According to Miranda, a driver with temporary license plates began driving erratically on the highway. While attempting to squeeze between their vehicle and a semi-truck traveling at high speed, the driver struck their Airstream trailer. The impact caused the trailer to fishtail across the road, creating a frightening situation that could have ended much worse. Fortunately, Miranda and Brendan managed to regain control of the vehicle and safely pull over to assess the damage. Even more frustrating was what happened next. The driver responsible never stopped. Instead, the person reportedly sped away from the scene, leaving Miranda and Brendan to deal with the aftermath on their own. Although the trailer suffered significant damage, there was one thing that mattered most. Both of them walked away unharmed. Later, Miranda shared details of the accident with fans, posting photos and videos showing the damage. While clearly shaken by the experience, she expressed gratitude that the outcome wasn't far worse. The incident served as a powerful reminder of how quickly life can change in a matter of seconds. Thankfully, the frightening crash became just one chapter in an otherwise happy period for the couple. Over the years, Brendan has frequently used social media to celebrate Miranda and show his admiration for both her accomplishments and her character. Whether recognizing her birthday, congratulating her on major career milestones, or simply expressing pride in her achievements, he has consistently made his support clear. Miranda, in turn, has often spoken about how much she appreciates having someone who understands and supports her demanding lifestyle. For someone who spent years navigating public breakups, tabloid rumors, and intense scrutiny, finding stability wasn't always easy. But after a long journey filled with unexpected detours, heartbreak, and hard-earned lessons, Miranda Lambert appeared to find exactly what she had been searching for: a partner willing to stand beside her through every mile of the road ahead. Miranda Lambert's mother in tears after he heartbreaking diagnosis. For years, Miranda Lambert kept one of the most difficult chapters of her family's life private. Then she finally shared the story of her mother Beverly's battle with breast cancer, revealing the emotional journey that tested their family's strength and brought them closer than ever. The country music star disclosed that her mother was diagnosed with breast cancer in September 2021. The news hit hard, and the moment Miranda learned what her mother was facing, she put everything else on hold. She returned home to Texas to stand beside her parents, Beverly and Rick, and her brother Luke as they faced the challenge together. What followed was a long and difficult road. Through the toughest moments of treatment, Miranda remained by her mother's side. offering support and helping her navigate the physical and emotional toll that cancer can bring. Despite everything Beverly endured, her determination never wavered. After 10 emotional months, the family finally received the news they had been hoping for. Beverly beat cancer and emerged healthy and cancer-free. Throughout the ordeal, her strength became an inspiration to everyone around her. She faced each setback with remarkable optimism, proving that even in life's darkest moments, a positive outlook can make a powerful difference. As the family reflected on the experience, Beverly explained that the battle did more than strengthen the bond within their immediate household. It also united their extended family in a way they had never experienced before. Constant updates, prayers, encouragement, and support created a network of people who stood behind her every step of the way. She described it as having an entire army cheering her on. And in the end, that support helped carry her through to recovery. Some of the most emotional memories came during the hardest stages of treatment. Beverly recalled how Miranda remained a steady presence throughout it all, especially during the painful moments when chemotherapy caused her to lose her hair. Miranda would gently rub essential oils onto her mother's head, small acts of care that became deeply meaningful during a time filled with uncertainty and tears. For Miranda, watching her mother fight cancer changed the way she views life. The experience became a powerful reminder that time with loved ones is precious and never guaranteed. It reinforced the importance of living in the moment, pursuing meaningful dreams, and making the most of every opportunity to spend time with family and friends while they are here.